Hey everybody, it's Dr. V. I am back to do a reading on the karmic situation of your divine counterpart. So this can be a divine masculine that has a karmic relationship. It can be divine feminine that has a karmic relationship. It's whoever is in a karmic connection and you're wondering what's going on, what's up with that karmic situation. So I'm using a variety of decks again today. I'm going to start with the John Holland Psychic Tarot. And I'm going to jump right in as soon as I shuffle one more time. All right, here we go. We are going to start with the, on the left side, it will be the divine, your divine counterpart, and what they're currently dealing with. Balance, 11 card. Woo-hoo. Heart chakra. And firm foundation. So where your divine counterpart is right now is a couple of things that came through immediately is the I totally lost my train of thought, is the divine, your divine counterpart right now is seeking balance. If you also notice, there's an 11 on this card. So to me, that always is a significant to twin flame, uncommon bond, this kind of divine relationship. So the divine counterpart, your divine counterpart, is seeking balance right now. They are looking for balance within, in their internal experience, external experience. It's just all about getting making the adjustments that they need to make. I get with the 11 also that there is that awareness that they have, that you are their counterpart, that they know that this connection is real and it's special and it's magical. It's all of those things. And they're having to figure out what they're going to do with this. The message on this card is also saying that the divine counterpart is realizing that they are and have participated in the creation of the circumstances of their life, and that their external world is a reflection of their internal state. And so they may be experiencing a lot of conflict or things that aren't great, and they're recognizing that it's because of what's happening within and that they need to fix that. This in the traditional tarot is the Justice card, and what it suggests to me is that there are some things that are, of course, being resolved right now, but that there are also some things that are being realigned. It could signify the end of a journey. So the next card that I pulled is the heart chakra. So he or she is opening their heart chakra. They're getting back in touch with their ability to love and to live from a space of love. It feels like there's been a lot of guarding going on and a lot of things happening that have caused them to shut their heart down, and they're coming back into balance with that. And this card here, 2 4s, look at that. Interesting. This card here suggests that they are, in the material world, building a firm foundation. So there has been, we can see with that first card, is that there's a lot of imbalance. There's a lot of things that are not, that are just out of balance. Like maybe sleep schedules are off. It's just a lot of things that are not in flow. And so the divine counterpart right now, is really working on establishing a firm foundation. They are really working on getting themselves together because they recognize that there's a lot of stuff that they need to work. It's interesting because the 4s are signify exactly that: stability, foundation, building. That's where they are right now. So I'm going to pull some cards for their karmic. The first card is the Shadow. The next card is Harmony. And the next card is Trapped in Fear. So where the karmic is right now. The karmic is currently facing their own shadow, their own dark side. The shadow is, you guys have heard me say this before, the unprocessed material. This is the stuff about ourselves that we don't want to face, the things that we don't want to know. It's the things that, the aspects of ourselves that are uncomfortable to face. It's all of that stuff, the stuff that you just don't want to deal with. And so it's also about, this card is also about recognizing that things change. So when I'm looking at the deck or the book right now, it says everything changes. This card is calling you to action. The time is now when you have to face your worst fears and look into the dark shadows of your soul. You must learn to confront what you've avoided and walk courageously through it. So this is the Moon card in the traditional tarot. It's also about, suggests that perhaps the karmic is stepping into a greater intuition. But really what this is saying to me is that this is the karmic is having to face the situation, face the relationship that they're in as it currently stands. That there has been a lot of almost what I would say like self-deception, that about things are great, things are going really well, whatever, when it's really not going well at all. It's all based on smoke and mirrors and illusion. There's not a lot of substance because it's a karmic relationship. And so I get what the karmic is really coming to terms with, that on a certain level, the karmic is recognizing that there's some stuff that I haven't wanted to face about this, and I'm going to face it now, and I'm going to deal with it head on and recognize that it's time for me to face my fears. And the fears may be, ending the relationship or moving on. So this card here is the Harmony card, which is traditionally, in the traditional tarot, is the lover's card. And it is, lovers signifies, actually, the lover's card actually signifies having to make a choice. And so this is about, what I'm getting is the karmic partner is really wanting to move into harmony, really wants to move out of this space of conflict and defeat and whatnot, and really move into a state of harmony, really wants to have that sense of harmony and peace and balance. Like going back to this, like this balance card, that it feels like just the relationship as a whole has been really imbalanced, and that it's been really out of whack for quite a while. And the karmic is like, I really just want some peace and harmony in my life. I want this to be in more balance than it has been. And it's also saying that, look, it's time for you to make some choices in terms of relationships. That what is this relationship mirroring back to me? What is this karmic relationship mirroring to me about myself? Like if the relationship is not going well, or it's not going the way I want it to go, what is it telling me about myself? What do I need to look within to deal with that is being revealed to me in this relationship? So with this and the Harmony card, what I'm getting is that the karmic is really wrestling with the relationship, whether he or she even wants to remain in the relationship, because it has been so imbalanced, and because he or she is recognizing that it's not really what they want, and that there's a lack of harmony and a lack of peace, and there's it's reflecting some things back that they're not necessarily liking, which is sort of like mirroring the twin flame relationship reading that I did earlier, where about talking about, if you're not, that you only participate in relationships that are What am I trying to say here? Essentially, that if you're participating in a relationship that's unhealthy or dysfunctional or out of balance, that it's telling you something about yourself, about how you feel about yourself, or the level of your self-love. And I feel like the karmic is really becoming aware of that right now, that's like, why am I participating in this relationship? It's not fulfilling in many ways, and I need to do something different. Excuse me while I take a sip of my latte. But this is all happening, but the karmic is trapped in fear. It's a mental prison. The karmic is feeling like just fearful that there is a lot that is being questioned. There's a lot that is coming up. There's a lot that is really coming to the surface, and that's great. However, the karmic is just trapped. It's just like not making a decision, not moving forward, not doing what the karmic knows they want to do and what they ought to do, because they're afraid. But it's a mental prison. It's all in their mind, that it's a self-imposed prison of the mind, really. It's like they're just trapped in their own fears in their mind, and it's keeping them stuck. So in order to take a step forward, the karmic is going to have to face the fears. Like, what is it that they're afraid of? If they were to speak their truth, what is the consequence? If they were to decide to end the relationship, what is the consequence? So those are the fears that the karmic is dealing with right now. And it is just stuck, just really stuck, and feels very uncomfortable in the situation, but feels less uncomfortable, or feels more discomfort about making changes. And so that's where that is right now. However, it's just continuing to build up. Like, staying in this place is going to continue to build up the stress and anxiety, and it's not going to get a whole lot better. So I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Romance Angels deck about the current energies of the karmic relationship. I'm shuffling off to the side. You probably can't see it. See if I can move and do it so you can actually see me shuffling. I know a lot of people like to witness the shuffling process. Okay, what is the current energy? Spirit, can you tell me the current energies of the karmic relationship? Please, Spirit, can you reveal the current energies of the karmic relationship? First card is Love Yourself First. The second is Honeymoon. The third is Chemistry. And I actually felt led to pull 2 from the Psychic Tarot, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Foundation and Achievements, and Material and Spiritual Prosperity. It's interesting because I think those came out in last week's reading too. So I'm going to pull these out so I can show you. So the first card that came up is Love Yourself First. So both people in this relationship, in this karmic situation, are in a space of recognizing the need to love themselves first. Like, they both are realizing that really that part of the reason why they got into this relationship was a lack of self-love. That they got into the relationship because it was easy, because it was convenient, because it didn't challenge them or require much of them. And so they've both been really not demonstrating self-love by remaining in a relationship that is not fulfilling and not serving their highest good. And both are moving into that space of loving themselves first. What I got from this one is like, not that there's a honeymoon energy, but actually that the honeymoon is over, that the illusions are falling, that there are a lot of things that they have both been coming to terms with and reckoning with, that this sense of, does this relationship have what it takes to maintain long term, and recognizing that it really doesn't, and that now that the honeymoon energy is over, that it doesn't have much of a foundation and much to stand on. And they're really recognizing that, and that they both want that. That they both want that kind of, blissful excitement that you feel when you're in love with someone. And this chemistry card suggests to me, in this context, that that karmic tie, that there's still some karma that needs to be worked out, that attraction that you feel towards someone. I always say this, and I say this in a joking manner, but it really is kind of true, that when you sometimes when you meet somebody for the first time and you have like intense chemistry and attraction, it can actually, a lot of people think that that's how love is supposed to be, right? But really what it can suggest is that there is like I jokingly say this to my clients, that it's like your dysfunction attracting my dysfunction, and we're like, oh my God, let's work out our childhood issues together. But that's really a lot of what happens sometimes. So this is saying, like, this is that there's a lot of that the pull to each other is karmic. It's like a soul lesson that they both have to work on, that they both have to resolve. I had a karmic relationship a number of years back, and I remember working through the karma and working through what needed to be done. And I remember actually the feeling that happened when I felt the karmic tie dissolve. And I actually literally felt it. I remember what happened. I remember where I was. I remember the feeling of, it was like the karma just, like, I felt it. I can't even explain it. Like, when I say it dissolved, it literally, like, I felt like this karmic tie between myself and this other person just kind of like dissolve, like butterflies and floating in the air. And I felt the shift, and it was the most incredible thing that I ever felt. But what I'm saying is that they're not there yet. They're still in that space, that there is still karma that needs to be worked out and that needs to be resolved. And that is contributing to this, this magnetic pull that they feel toward each other. And that's, what I'm also getting is that this karmic relationship, like, it might have had some chemistry, but with this card and this card together, and just the overall energy of where both of them are, what I'm really getting is that there is not any like physical chemistry. Like, I don't get a lot of that. There's like this is not a couple that is like, super attracted to each other, and that there's a lot of, physical connection there. I get it. I actually get that there's really an absence of that. And then I look at these two cards from the John Holland Psychic Tarot. The first one is the Foundation and Achievements, another 4 card, which again is about stability and grounding and getting yourself in solid place, material and spiritual prosperity. So, but again, look at the end. Look at these cards. They're both looking away, and that for whatever reason just really is significant to me. Remember, I said this one, that the Love Yourself First card, that there was a lack of foundation, and I really get that that's what this is saying right here, is that that they're recognizing that this relationship just doesn't have the foundation to maintain long term, that they're both on the energy of the relationship is coming to this space where they're both recognizing, like, we just don't have this doesn't have what it takes to maintain in the long term. It could be lack of compatibility, different values, different desires, different goals, anything. It's just this recognition that the things that are required to make a relationship be healthy, happy, functional, long-term just aren't present there. And that's coming to the surface. The other thing that's coming up is that they're really both recognizing that this is not a situation that they are going to be able to achieve their best and highest good, material and spiritual prosperity in this relationship because of the being out of balance, because it doesn't have that foundation, because it doesn't have the chemistry and the other necessary elements to maintain a relationship long term. That they're both recognizing that, this just doesn't, it just doesn't have what it takes. We just don't have what it takes. And recognizing that there's a different path available to achieve material and spiritual prosperity that they are going to have to explore whether they want to take that step. There is material and spiritual prosperity available to both of them. It's just that because of the situation being so out of balance and so not what it being just the nature of a karmic relationship, that they're recognizing that what they could accomplish is probably not going to happen in this particular context. The number 6 is also about harmony, appreciation, self-sacrifice, loyalty, and responsibility. So there's a part of this too that is about that there's an energy of mutual recognition of this isn't where I want to be, this isn't the best situation, but I'm loyal, I have responsibilities, sort of a martyr energy that I'll sacrifice myself for the greater good and be unhappy or settle for something that doesn't really work because that's what I should do because whatever. So there's some of that energy with that too. But it really, again, what is interesting in this particular spread is that there is I don't see any love in this connection. There literally is no love. The green in the Psychic Tarot, the green cards are the emotions, and there is no emotion in this relationship. There's no there's just no love, which is sad actually, to be in a relationship that's loveless, emotionless. So I'm going to use the soul, I don't remember what these are called, soul guide oracle cards, I think, something like that. And I'm going to pull some cards for what karmic lessons are they moving through this week. There is a lot of big energy happening this week, and so I wouldn't at all be surprised if big changes and big transitions happen. So just buckle your seatbelt. Get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. So what karmic lessons are coming this week? Or what karmic lessons are they working through this week, Spirit? Thank you. The first one, to retreat. Second, refine your attention. Third, address your addictions. Very interesting. Okay, so what's happening this week with this relationship is that there's a retreat. There's a sense of pulling away and going within and really getting into a self-reflective space. Like, this is what that card says to me. It's like self-reflection, retreat, not like running off into the hills, but basically like saying, okay, what's going on here? And what do I need to do? Like, so there's some, at least energetically, maybe physically taking some space, retreating mentally, emotionally, to figure out what it is that each person wants and what's happening in the relationship. The next one that came in, refine your attention. This is about focus. This is about Staying focused, not being so easily distracted, and paying attention. So this is what's coming through, is that there's a sense of like one or both people not not having been paying attention to the relationship because they've been distracted and been, you know, caught up in other stuff that they have been missing some critical signs about what's going on in the relationship, the state of the relationship, and that right now it's like the spirit is saying like, wake up, you know, you got to pay attention to what's going on here, because this is, you know, what's happening is not great. But here is addressing the addictions, and what I'm getting from this card, what immediately popped up was that, like, the codependent energy that I mean, it could be a physical addiction. So don't get me wrong. There could be one or both parties struggling with some sort of addiction. But what I really got first was the codependence. That, remember the martyrdom energy that came up from here? It's like recognizing that you can also be addicted to people. You can be addicted. People can be addicted to pain. People can literally be addicted to feeling bad, to feeling unworthy, to feeling low and down. So people can actually feel that way, and this is something that they're having to address right now. And then that's the energy that they'll be moving through this week, is really about addressing those addictions and paying attention to what is actually going on, and recognizing some of the triggers and some of the things that are happening within the connection. I feel like I need to pull another one or two. Wow. The next card, I pulled this from the Romance Angels deck, and it says you deserve love. That's a karmic lesson that they're both working through this week, is that they both are recognizing that they deserve love, they deserve happiness, they deserve to be in a relationship that is fulfilling. And wow, and they're both calling in their soulmate, which is interesting, right? So this is like really what I'm getting is that they're both recognizing, both parties, that this isn't their soulmate, that this isn't, remember this, refining your attention, that they're both recognizing this isn't what I want, this isn't my person, this isn't the person for me, and what's keeping us together is this stuff up here, the codependence, the soul ties, the karmic energy, but it's not enough. And they're both realizing, you know, that they both deserve love. They both deserve to have that passionate, fiery, soulful, inspiring connection in their life. And on some level, it's very interesting, because I don't get that either one of them is necessarily like, you know, super spiritually advanced in the sense of actually like setting intentions and affirmations and things like that. But I feel like there's like a really deep longing in the heart that is calling in the soulmate energy. That's like, you know, prayers don't have to just be vocal. Prayers can be like that deeply felt longing. It's like if you're sitting there and you're watching This Is Us and you're like, man, I wish, you know, I had a husband like Jack or like Randall, then, and a really deep longing for that kind of energy, like that's calling in your soulmate, sending that kind of energy out, recognizing that there's more and that that you want more. It can be also calling in your soulmate. So that's interesting where they're at right now. So I want to pull some cards from the Psychic Tarot about let me think for a second. Okay, I'm gonna move these over here. Where is this partnership headed? New beginnings. Love begins. Victory and success. Okay, so what I'm getting from these cards, just from right off the top, is that that this relationship is on its way to ending. Like it's just doesn't have what it needs, what a relationship needs to last. And so it's heading toward the ending. It's like the beginning of the end. I don't necessarily feel like it's gonna, maybe some of them will happen, you know, in the next week or two. I don't necessarily get that. But it is ending. And then there's going to be a new beginning for both people, for both parties. And after that ending, because you know, before a new beginning there has to be an ending, so after the new ending, the new beginning, then love begins. Then they are both are free to be able to feel love. Isn't that bizarre that the only time that love shows up in this reading is that after the new beginning? So it's a 0, look, 0 and then a 1. So there's progression, there's a forward motion. So the new beginning happens, love begins. This is where they will both be able to experience that true love, that true, what love really is, not the love that is based out of need and codependence and all of those lower energy vibrations. And what's ahead? Success. It's not success together, though. That's the thing that it's very, very clear that this, to me, this energy of this relationship is really that it's headed to the end, and that they are not going to, that this relationship is not going to continue. It's not going to last. It's not going to, it's coming to an end at some point. And but after they allow this new beginning to happen, love to come in, there's a lot of victory and success for both parties. So that's good, because I know that a lot of people feel some kind of way about have their divine counterpart having a karmic partner, and sometimes people can get into the energy of negative energy of not wishing them well and not being a great, you know, just not wishing them well, not vibrating in that high level energy. But it's really important to not feel resentment toward the karmic, and it's really important to not feel, to not go into those lower level emotions, even though it's tempting for some people. It's really important to wish them well and to thank them for their role in this journey, and to let them, you know, to wish for their highest good. You know, if you're coming at this from a space of like, I don't like this person and I want them to fail, that's not good. That's not great energy. That's not unconditional love. That's not what we're here to learn. What you really want is to operate from the space of, I want everyone's highest good. My highest good, my karmic, my divine counterpart's highest good, the karmic's highest good. Like, we want everybody. We want to rise together. That's the energy. And so if you're watching this and you're thinking like, you know, like celebration that the relationship is coming to an end, and I totally get that. Like that's cool, but also remember that there will be pain involved for people, and so try and stay in that higher space of compassion and love, unconditional love. And if you are inclined to send energy or thoughts or wishes, make sure that it's pure, make sure that it's good energy, that it's not coming from a space of trying to cause harm or trying to interfere or anything like that. Literally come from the space of unconditional love and wishing for everyone's highest good, because that's what's best for everyone. So I'm going to pull from my new favorite. Well, I wouldn't go with favorite, because I think like pretty much all of my decks are favorite, but from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. This one jumped out, the Mystical Shaman. So I'm going to put that there. And I feel like one more. The Jaguar. So I'm going to actually read from this book because these messages are really, really beautiful. The first one, interesting, I opened right to the page, is the mystical shaman. The invitation. When the mystical shaman appears, you're invited to consider the ability to live without attachment. You were called to create and dream your life, to act on inspiration and divine impulse without fixating on a known story of success or achievement. Can you impartially observe the story you tell yourself and others? What if you could become a mystery to yourself? Who would you be if you stopped telling the tales that have defined you up until now? You do not have to live in a story that has roots in the past. What if there was no need to explain you to anyone, not even to yourself? The way to your most extraordinary life is to become a blank slate and allow the form of your dreams and desires to show up as it will. This is a sign of manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. So what comes through for me, first of all, with this is that the universe is supporting them in releasing attachments, okay? So the universe is really helping them to release attachments and to realize that, coming back to this, you deserve love and calling in your soulmate energy, that there's more available than what they've been accepting. And so the universe is really supporting them in allowing themselves to see that, to dream a bigger dream. It's a really beautiful card. The next card is the Jaguar. Look at that. Look at that focus in the eyes. Jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside your normal routine, to push your limits and boundaries. She is delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery and the dark places you've been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that your Jaguar instinct will serve you well. So again, this is a forward motion. This is, Jaguars don't go backwards. They don't get stuck. This is like the universe is supporting them to get outside of this comfort zone of this karmic relationship, the comfort zone of their own self-imposed limitations, and saying, look, your future self wants you to face your fears and to take these steps and to do what you need to do, what you're being called and what you're being invited to do, because there's so much more available out there if you would just let yourself experience it. But you have to get out of your fear, you have to get out of your own way in order for that to happen. And that's what the universe is supporting this union, or this karmic relationship in this week. So, well, that's the reading for the week, everybody. I hope that it resonates. Please comment and let me know if it does, if you have any questions. And I will be back with probably a couple more readings this week. I've got a really busy week, and so I may skip the other readings. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me privately on Instant Go if you're an iPhone user, or through any of the other means available on my About Me page. So I'll talk with you soon. I hope all is well. Bye.